History, to understand history, we must look at what I call the curve of history. History moves like the stock market. Yes, again, history moves like the stock market. How does the stock market move? It goes up and down all the time. Huh? It's never a straight line. It is never a straight line. It is always going up and down. But there is a trend of going up, although it might be fluctuating, but it is going up, or it's fluctuating and going down. Where are we now in the curve of history? As Muslims, where are we? So I did a full study on this. In the beginning of Islam, at the time of the Prophet ﷺ and Al-Khulafa, our curve was going up like a rocket. So strong, so fast. Islam, the Islamic State, started by Hijrah, as we all know. The Prophet ﷺ died in the 11th year of Hijrah. So let's see how this curve moves. Huh? In the 11th year of Hijrah, what happened? Ridda, where people turned away from Islam because of the death of the Prophet ﷺ. So the curve went down so quickly, صح? That's how it moved. And then Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, with his great stand, sent the armies, 11 armies, by the way. And within 9 months, he reconquered all of the Arab Peninsula. Many people don't know that at that time, only 3 cities were left in the hands of Muslims: Mecca, Medina, and Taif. Everywhere they turned away from Islam. So it was, the curve went down so quickly, but 9 months later, the whole of Arabia was in the hands of Muslims. The first battle against the Persians happened in the end of the 11th year of Hijrah. And by the way, it happened in Kuwait, in a place called Kadhima. That's the first battle between Muslims and the Persians. The first attack of Muslims against the greatest empire in the whole world was at that date. By the year 18th of Hijrah, the whole Sassanite empire collapsed. 7 years only. The greatest powers of the world. And during the same time, 12th year of Hijrah, Muslims attacked the strongholds of the Romans in Damascus and in Jerusalem. And it was conquered within 2 years. And then Amr ibn al-As, on the year 18th of Hijrah, asked Sayyidina Umar to permit him to attack Egypt, which was the third capital for the Byzantine Empire, in Alexandria at that time. Egypt at that time had 1 million men. The army of Amr ibn al-As was only 4,000 men. And within 6 months, it was in the hands of Muslims. And then West Africa and so on, as you know the story. So we went as a curve up. And then the Umayyads came. And the curve continued up, but not to the same level. So we went like a rocket, and then we continued up. And then the Abbasids came. And by the way, the Abbasids, the Abbasiyun, are the ones who started the civilization part of Islam. Not the Umayyads, not the Khulafa al-Rashidin. During all of that time, there was no universities, no great buildings, etc. Abu Ja'far al-Mansur started that. Started Dar al-Hikmah, started the astronomy, economics, mathematics, etc. And so the curve continued up. And then the Ottoman came. And the Ottomans, their history was divided into two main areas, two main periods. The first period, it was going up, especially when Muhammad al-Fatih conquered Istanbul, 1453. And it continued up with Sulaiman al-Qanuni and so on. Where did the curve start going down? It went down in the year 998, 1998 of Hijrah. That's when the curve started going down. And that year specifically, because the Ottomans, they wanted to conquer Vienna. And they sieged Vienna 3 times. And by the way, the Muslims reached from the west, from the Al-Andalus, they reached 60 kilometers from Paris. So they were attacking from both sides. On the 3rd siege of Vienna, the Ottomans were not successful. From that date, the curve started going down. And it went down for about 400 years. We are not today at the bottom. The bottom happened in 1967. Many of you don't remember that because you are too old. I remember that. I remember the war very clearly. And when we lost Jerusalem and the Muslims did not move, we lost our holy site. We lost Palestine and Muslims did not move. That's when we reached bottom. Since that time, ya akhwan, ya akhawat, since that time, we're going up. But again, when we are going up, it moves like a stock market. It would be very wrong to analyze the stock market by looking only at the bottom points. And it would be very wrong to analyze the stock market by looking at the top points. So you must take the trend. The trend is going up. There is a huge change happening in the Muslim world. Huge. I wrote 6 books on the future of Islam, because scholars talk about history of Islam and they talk about the present situation of Islam, but very few talk about the future of Islam. So I wrote 6 books by the title Mustaqbalul Islam, the future of Islam. And I used my skill as a strategist, and I teach strategic planning. So I used that and applied it to the Muslim Ummah. And I showed how can we turn this movement that we see among the youth and the young men and women into a strong movement that would move us up quicker. We are moving up, but we need to move quicker. So we have to solve our problems, which are many, and I started with that. But more important is that we can see where are we going.